everybody. Today is Wednesday, and guess what? I have a guest. This is Miss Marie. Sweetest person in the world. Got some good information for you, some good education for you. I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself. Go ahead, Miss Marie.
Hello, hello.
Move over some.
Yes, because you know I like to get close.
Yes,
my name is Marie. I am here today as I couldn't get that one because of the camera was lengthwise. Or what they call it.
Let me try this thing.
Yeah.
Let me try my little thing.
Okay, I was gonna say just if we can get that one popping, we would be.
Yeah, let them know I got this.
We'd be A1.
I don't know nothing about being a techie, but go ahead.
I'm on the very edge of millennial, so I'm on the very edge of millennial. I would disappoint my people. However, scroll to the top, and then it said live down here.
Give us a minute, y'all. Right
here. Boom. But it keeps saying you can't go landscape, which is that way.
Okay. Well, we gonna go this way.
But does it have a camera the other way?
Yeah, it go this way.
Oh.
It will.
Well, I didn't know that. She'll know more than me.
That's the way I always have it.
Yes.
Okay, y'all. I'm trying to get where I can see you guys.
How you doing? Yes. Well, while she's figuring that out,
yeah,
I know her. I know my Aunt Tracy because of my mother-in-law. So my mother-in-law and Miss Tracy, we've all been together, just hanging out over the past couple years. So we just celebrated a 60th birthday, a 20th wedding anniversary, and it was just really beautiful. It was set up by yours truly. So she was in the building, getting it popping.
Yes.
Per usual.
My bestie, Marta Cotton. One of the besties I have. Okay, y'all. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to the next. Let's go. I'm not even ready. I do it every other week. Y'all know that. I'm trying to see some of my peeps so I can give some shout outs here. Hey, Denise. How are you? Thanks for being on. Hey, Mo. Hey, Mo. Hey, look, I got something good for y'all. Hey, Phyllis, you know I know you are there, girl. You know, how you doing? You know, I got a good one here for you. This is going to be a good, alive today, as everyone has been. And you know, I'm going to keep it going and going and going. And I'm always going to have somebody who's going to be on my couch. I told you it's going to happen, and it's starting to happen. You know, so as long as I can, it can be you if you choose to be. You know, like I said, the offer is open. You know, because we all got something that we can help somebody with, you know, as we've been helping each other, you know, and you guys been helping me, you know, just from coming on this live and sharing with your comments, you know, and keeping me going. You know what I mean? Keeping me to keep my promise that I gave my higher power, keep soldiering for recovery, you know, to the next still suffering addict. My girl Marie here, she has a story to tell as well. You know, she can join right on in with us. And you're a yoga instructor, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me tell you something. We do yoga in rehabs. You know, yoga is good for you in an everyday life, period. You know what I mean? It's a calm. It's a peace of mind, you know. It helps you become motivated in self. Am I talking the real deal?
Yes, ma'am.
Emma?
Holyfield.
My girl. My girl, you know. So, of course, she knows more about it than I do because she's the expert, you know. And I can join in with her on, you know, how it helps us too, you know, as addicts and recovering addicts. You know, maybe you probably get a little bit more interested in this yoga thing too. You know what I mean? So, you know, as I start off with every time, you know, I give you a little slogan, you know, or something out the book, you know. So let me get this up for you. All right, this is what I found that was good, that'll get me off and get me hyped, get me to moving. All right, it says addiction isn't about alcohol and drugs, not just about alcohol and drugs. Alcohol and drugs, it's the absence of self, which means, like I said, this and this disconnect, we're not even there. We're just a zombie for sickness. We're not even, I wasn't even Tracy. I was disease. not knowing that I had one, So it says, this absence is described as a hole in the soul. That's emotionalist. You just have no emotions whatsoever. All that is up in the matrix, in the brain, that puzzle, all thousands of pieces up there like the matrix. And we don't know how to get the pieces and put them back in the puzzle, And then it says you can't love others when you're empty inside. We become empty. Just don't care. Don't know. The only type of emotion that we have is emotions that will have us, do all the things that we was doing. You know what I mean? Like in my story, y'all know, I tricked, I stole, I jail, did everything. You know what I mean? That voice told me to do, because I had no more control of my emotions nor my thinking. Then it says the pain layers and heals the whole through connection, honest, and hard work. It says the painful layers and heals the whole through connections of honesty and hard work.
Recovery peels back the painful layers. Recovery.
I said that one too, I think. Recovery peels back.
Period. Yes.
The painful layers,
yes.
Okay? And heals the whole through connections of honesty and hard work. Again, I'm going to read it again so it can be clear, y'all. Addiction isn't just about alcohol and drugs. It's the absence of self. This absence is described as a hole in your soul. You can love others when you're empty. You can love others when you're empty inside. Recovery peels back the painful layer and heals the hole through the connection, honesty, and hard work. Which is saying, for me, that I have to get honest with myself. Step one, surrender. Become honest. Knowing that I have an addiction. And I'm at my rock bottom, and I have no feelings. I can't think. I can't do anything but soldier for disease. And that's that dis-ease that it creates in me, where I have no clue on how to get better. Make sense?
It does.
That I don't know how to get better. You know what I mean? So I had to surrender and get some help so I can learn who I am, to get to know me again, for who I can become, because who I was is gone. You know what I mean? At the time of addiction, I'm just nobody.
And that's that peeling back the layers, I feel like. So in yoga, we call that seeking the truth. So the first step, and so I grew up in NA. I grew up in the halls of NA, in the meetings of NA. My mother suffered addiction growing up. So I, as a child, spent a lot of my days in the Narcotics Anonymous and the recovery rooms, hearing the stories, hearing and just digesting the steps. And so yoga found me in 2020. I always say yoga finds me. Yoga finds you at a certain time. And so that first step is seeking the truth in the type of yoga that I am trained in. We call that seeking the truth, which is, like my Aunt Tracy said, it's about really being honest with yourself and looking at yourself with clarity and with that it's hard sometimes to look at ourselves and see how dishonest we've been being, to see how disconnected from self we've been being, disconnected from source, disconnected from our core we've been being. And so to even take the first step is the hardest step, because to seek the truth means you have to have the courage to look within, which is really scary. And like she mentioned, can be quite painful. So a lot of folks run from pain. Well, I know I'm not trying to, I'm the only one to sign up for pain. However, it's part of the process.
Yeah, pain is a part of it. Pain just automatically comes. Pain is one of the feelings of emotions that the sickness will allow us to feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Suffering is another emotion that sickness will allow us to feel. Healing is not. Love is not. You know what I mean? Caring is not. You know what I mean? It's all the above of failing, dying, losing your mind. You know what I'm saying? Running, being out there, just being a soldier for the drug itself. And as a addict, some of us don't even know these things or understand these things, or can even feel. Hey, Rashad, or can even feel. What these things, being an addict, you don't have it in mind, a knowledge of what's, hey, Miss Marta Cotman.
She said she was tuning in. She got us on the big screen.
And y'all, let me tell you something. I didn't even, we had such a bad connection. The phone kept going out. I got to say, here I am again, thanks to Nicole, living in my truth cup. That's for you, girl. And again, I must say, I always keep this on the eye, and I'm not a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. I'm here to share my truths, my strengths, my goods, and my bads of living an addictive lifestyle. Again, this is for anyone who this information and education can help. Is for anyone who's willing to listen so that you can hear. And then you can probably see, insight of what I'm trying to offer you and trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Everybody will not agree with everything about, how my recovery is. I can't cure you. I can't fix you. I can't, I'm not an angel for you. You know what I mean? I'm just a grateful recovering addict living a recovery lifestyle. And I have a lot of information and education that I know can help somebody. So again, following the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous and Alcohol Anonymous is the way that I believe, and that's what brought me to my sanity. You understand? And I'm offering that information in the NA book or the AA book. I got to show that blue, and the 12 steps, So the 12 steps helps me with any and everything of difficulty that I have in life today, but that's just for me. And maybe it could be possible it can help you. And this is just not all about addiction of drugs and alcohol. It's about any addiction that exists. You follow what I'm saying?
Fear.
Say it again.
Fear.
Okay. Fear. You know what I mean? Grief.
Yes, we all experience the wide spectrum of human emotions, and becoming addicted to any one of those emotions, getting attached. One of the 8 limbs of yoga, right? So people think yoga is something that you do. I'm gonna drop this real quick gem.
Go ahead.
Yoga is what you be.
Oh, go ahead. It's what you be.
So yoga is not something that you do. Some people say, "Oh, I'm not here to do yoga." Yoga is a way of being. It's actually something that you be. And so with that, that knowing is like, okay, so you show up as a way of being, not to come and do some stretches, not because you can't touch your toes. Right? Yoga is to bring consciousness.
Go ahead.
It's about to bring awareness and clarity to your consciousness, like you said, to help us live that more clear life, to set aside chaos and confusion, right? And realize when we're attached. So the 8 limbs of yoga, actually one of the limbs, thinking like a limb of a tree, right? So one of the limbs of yoga is called asana. And asana is what y'all all know. It's just that lady in the tight yoga pants with her bag, and she's running the class. That's asana. Everyone's like, I'm late, gotta get to class. That's the physical postures. But the other 7 limbs of yoga are very much to do with self-inquiry, meditation,
right?
And
which is hard for us to do. We can't meditate. We can't even concentrate.
Because you're sitting there for 2 seconds. You're like,
it's too much. I tell you that broken puzzle up there floating around up there. We just can't catch it. We can't catch none of that shit.
Yes, and that's what it's about. It's about non-attachment. So the first and second limb of yoga is the yoga do's and don'ts. It's the yamas and the yamas, the do's and the do nots, the haves and the should nots, the haves and have nots of yoga. And one of them is non-attachment, not being attached, because attachment is the root cause of most of our suffering. Attachment to addiction, attachment to things, attachment to people, attachment to the outcome of circumstances, the attachment to wanting things to go a certain way, the attachment to
confused with someone else.
Sarah, we ain't talking to you.
Did it talk?
Sarah, we ain't talking to you.
Girl, that's the first that one ever happened.
She's like, I got something to say.
Go ahead and finish. I'm gonna turn that on. I ain't never heard this thing talk.
I got something to input. But yoga is a part of that too. You had mentioned that, like, this is peeling back the layers. Yoga is about realizing the barriers that stop us from being who we are already. We are already pure positive energy at the core. When we are born into this world, we are pure positive energy. We are light already. The world imposes upon us those layers of the onion that cause us to become callous, to become disconnected from source, right? And so with the practice of yoga, with the practice of realizing, sitting with self.
Hey, Erica.
Inquiring with self.
I'm always shouting out names.
Me too. I want people to know we here. We see them. We see y'all. We see y'all. We know you by name. But yeah, it's just releasing your attachments. It's about yoga as a practice also. So yoga is not something, again, that you show up one time and do. That was for me. I was like, oh, I'm just going to show up one time and that's going to be it for me. No, that's not how it works. It's a practice. So you show up to be, not to be better, actually, because there is no better, actually, in yoga. Mm-hmm. It's about becoming more connected to self, more clear, and then just giving yourself the opportunity to practice. Like I said, giving yourself space and grace, calling it a practice so that you show up with the intentionality to not be perfect, but to practice more clarity, to practice realizing when you might be attached to a certain outcome or a certain emotion or a certain addiction or a certain
that's why like in rehabs we have a yoga class for the clients, you know what I mean? So you're making me understand more what they're getting from it. You know, and the ones that go because they go for that comfort, you know, they go for that chance to have a peace with their mind, you know, which basically can have them have self-time. Basically self-time.
Does anybody get self-time? Who gets self-time? Nobody gets enough self-time. I'm going to tell you that. If you get self-time, that's one thing. But self-time with purpose.
With purpose.
So people think, oh, I'm going to just sit down and watch some TV, right? And that could seem like I do a great workshop on what it seems like. But it seems like that's relaxing, that's coming. But really being intentional with sitting with self means, like you said earlier, with purpose. We sit down with the intention to get clear with oneself. Right. Not to just get distracted by the Instagram scroll, or not to just get distracted by my mother-in-law's favorite trash TV, which is okay. We do that, right? Because that's our jam. I love Kim K. She knows that, so I got the Hulu on deck.
Hey, Tanya, I'm so glad to see you, girl. Yes. Hey, Michelle, you know I'm looking for you. You know, we're talking a little bit about how yoga is connected with helping us in recovery, you know, and helping us soothe our self-conscious mind. This is how I'm going to explain on our behalf as an addict exactly what you're saying. Because to a newcomer, you know what I mean, or to somebody who don't really understand yoga, you speak in Spanish.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? You speaking some Spanish
We're
here.
Speaking Spanish.
And this is why this is called Real and Raw, y'all. So I'm going to break this shit down to our language. You know what I mean? And like I was saying, you know, it's like a self-purpose thing. Just watching them in rehab. You know, when they go to the yoga class. When I have to sit there in the yoga class with them, I mean, they actually be like at peace. Some come out of there feeling so great and feeling so good. You know what I mean? And come out there like they just learned something. So I'm understanding why. You know what I mean? But they have that little thing with the bing, you know, the bing and the bing in there. What is that? What is that? What does that do?
So sound healing is a real thing. I guess start with that. Sound healing is a real method of healing.
Michelle said it's a sort of lifesaver connection with sobriety.
Yes, absolutely, Michelle, because...
Hey, May.
Yes, the connection is what it's all about.
I better see you Saturday, girl. Hey, Rabia.
Hey,
Rabia knows a lot about that, too. When we worked together, we had a yoga class. Yes. You know, she's was a counselor that I worked with for some years.
And so yoga is not therapy. That's one thing I always like to start my classes with. You must, in addition to practicing yoga, go to therapy. It's not a replacement for therapy. These are just practices and tools you can put in your tool belt to pull out when you need them the most.
Whoa, y'all hear that? The tool belt. We say toolbox.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And shoot, we might need a little more space, so let me borrow a little space in your box. Okay, little tools.
I mean, I might get interested in this yoga. I have never done yoga.
Yes, you will be.
You know what I mean? I have never done yoga before. And, you know, the way they, you know, I looked at it in the rehab was like, you know, sometimes it was just an escape for clients to get together, you know, and be all close and do what they do, you know. But Miss T is like, oh, hell no. We ain't doing that shit. You know what I mean? I'm going to sit right up in there, too, and then move that damn rug over, whatever you on top of. You know what I'm saying? Like, move that shit over, because we're not doing that.
Our crystals rocks. I'm
like get into it. You know what I mean? I'm all like this. They laughing at me. I'm like this, trying to get into it. I can't even concentrate with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, because me, a person for me, I'm more like I can get with the bell thing. You know what I mean? With the hearing something, but that silence sometimes can put us in another world.
And that's really a great.
You know what I'm saying? It'll put us in another world.
So there's a bunch of different. This is really important to note. There's a bunch of different types of yoga. Like I didn't know this. I thought that yoga was just one thing. You show up to yoga.
Right.
There's slow yoga. There's yin yoga. There's vinyasa yoga. There's hatha yoga. There's all these different types of yoga. So you do have to find the yoga that's right for you. I was trained in a yoga called Baptiste yoga. Baptiste yoga is in a hot room, no music. So just exactly what you're saying, right? It's not for me. And it wasn't for me. I didn't know that until I was done the whole thing, obviously. And I didn't even
get my waves sweat out.
Oh, that was the first problem I had. That's
the
first reason black women did not even want to go to yoga, because the lady said, "Do you want to come to yoga?" I said, "Will you sweat?" No, thank you. Absolutely, I won't be there. Right? Because I just got my hair straight. And I just put on my money. Like I'm not trying to go in no hot room. But so with that, there is a yin yoga. There's a slow flow yoga. There's different types of yoga, right? That we need that yoga that has music behind it.
I hear you, Michelle. I think I'm gonna be a little interested in this. You know what I mean? That's why I said, when we do this live, I like to bring a little bit of everything on. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I don't know everything. And even for as long as they had yoga in the rehab, that I worked in, I never got into it for just being yoga. For me, I'm like, nah, they ain't going there and hook up. You know what I mean? But I tried it in there, but I just didn't have my mental in there.
But also, too, you have to understand how we've seen yoga. So our entire life, I've never seen yoga as something that black women, especially women that look like me, my size, have done. I've always seen it as white, thin women in Lululemon who are carrying their bag, their $80. It's never been accessible. Yeah. Right?
You know that because, saying that some of the heavier and thicker girls in there was shamed and embarrassed to go in there because all the little tiny girls,
when I show up, people,
was the Beyoncés of the rehab.
People, I show up to the yoga student, people think I'm a yoga teacher. They never think I'm a yoga teacher. They always think that I'm just like maybe the receptionist or somebody. And then when I show up, when I present myself to the class and I say, my name is Marie and I'll be leading the 60-minute yoga class this evening, they're like, oh, she's the yoga teacher? So you can do what I'm doing.
So tell me something, Ree. In your lifestyle as coming up, you were surrounded by addictive lifestyle.
Yes.
Correct, right?
Correct.
How did yoga help you with it? Like, did you use yoga to?
I didn't.
For that?
I didn't know about it.
You
didn't
then?
About it. I didn't know about yoga until 2020, 4 years ago.
Okay.
So just 4 years ago, my life, I transformed. I always tell people, yoga doesn't do anything for you. Yoga doesn't. It transforms the person who practices yoga.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when you receive that transformation, you as the person leave yoga, like you said, then people are transformed. They now are transformed after their practice.
Right.
And are now a different type of person. When I was young, though, I didn't have these tools to get through, what I was working through as a kid. I went to boarding school on top of that, so I was not equipped with what I needed. However... So
what can you share with us about the coming upbringing?
So I went to
as a child.
I went to therapy. So I lost my father to. So my mother and father were both addicted to crack. I was sent to boarding school around 5th grade, and my father was murdered.
Wow.
So in the transaction of drugs, in the lifestyle of drugs, his life was taken.
Right.
And that was at a young age of 8. I realized right then and there that life was just not permanent. That you just didn't. You didn't just get to do whatever you wanted to do and escape scot-free. And actually that nobody got out alive.
Right.
And I was like, well, damn. At 8. Okay, I'm realizing.
At 8 years old. Just a baby. Just a child.
And so I'm at boarding school also, which is a privilege, right? So I'm at a boarding school called Milton Hershey School where, they are afforded therapy. I was able to see a therapist for grief counseling while my father passed away. So I was given tools that kids in inner city schools were not given.
Right.
Those resources and tools aren't given to kids who are losing their parents on a daily basis.
Absolutely not.
On the street, right?
Absolutely not.
So we have to understand where it comes from, where it stems from, why my experience is the way that it is, and why I saw a lot of other kids like me or around me not able to access what I had access to, and recognizing what a privilege that was for me.
Right.
And being able to have a mother who was very much aware and and knew that something needed to be done as far as the tools in the tool belts for life. You know what I mean? To equip me with whatever.
So your mom was the one who chose to put you in the boarding school?
She did.
She was protecting you.
She made the really
absolutely. She was protecting
difficult decision, because you can imagine at that time what people were saying about that decision that she made. You know,
right. She giving her child away. She doing this. She ain't no mother. You know what I mean? She like that dope more than she even care about her child. You remember those type of remarks? Yes, yeah. She ain't shit. Yes. She this and she that. And at this present time, she's doing the right thing for you. You know, and that's the same way pretty much I was. I didn't send my kids to a boarding school, but my mother. Yeah. My mother had my children. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I knew that my children were safe. You know what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't that I didn't care about them or I didn't want them. You know what I mean? I knew that my kids were safe. And us as addicts, we hear a lot of, you don't even care about your kids. You like dope more than you like your kids. You know what I mean? More than you love your kids. And that's not true. That's enough to make you want to jump on that person and just beat them in their face. You know what I mean? Or beat them in their head, and then you start cussing them out because you ain't got no emotions, no way. Anyway, you know what I mean? all the above emotions, is ready, for the reflection from it. You follow what I'm saying? And we do love our children. Yes. We do love our children. We just don't have no love. We're stale. We're cold. We're emotionalists. We're disconnected. You know what I mean? Yes. But we hurt. We hurt so bad, you just don't know, and you just don't see it. We love our parents. Mm-hmm. We love our family. We used to love life. We just can't feel it no more. You know what I mean? So because we can't feel it, we can't even see it. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So as a child, I'm going to bring my own kids on. The lives, so we can help some of the families who feels and think the same thing about whomever the person is in their life. You know what I mean? That's using the addict or the alcoholic. You know what I mean? That you can get an understanding of disease is cunning, again, baffling and powerful. And we become mindless. We become senseless. And the only thing and only being that we know is disease. Disease strips us of everything, every emotion that we had. Again, like I said, we forget about our children. You know what I'm saying? The only way we think about our children is we go to the welfare office or something, or go to somebody and ask and use them. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. We use them for disease. We use them to get paid. We use them, you know what I mean? Some people put their kids out there, sell their kids. You know what I mean? At the time that I was getting high, they was selling all them kids and all that stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Don't think it ain't never crossed my damn mind. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? That's when I knew I was getting crazy and crazy and crazy. When you think of all that kind of shit and you see all that kind of shit, and then you it puts you in an emotional state where, disease will let you hurt from it. You know what I mean? It'll slip some emotions or feelings where it'll let you feel a little bit so you can hurt enough to do what it say, as it say, when it say, do it, and go get it. Mm-hmm. Damn, that was nice, wasn't it? It was very simple. I was rolling, right? Hey, y'all, I'm getting ready to get hyped now. I'm getting ready to get it in. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready to get this shit in right now because this topic done came real. And it done got real. And it's real. And some people won't surrender to that. Some people won't live in their truth and get honest with stuff like that. But I have to cleanse myself of all of what my thinking was all about. You know what I mean? Because disease didn't treat me no different than it treats anybody else. You know what I'm saying? And the truth, the truth will set you free, correct? The truth will set you free no matter what the situation is. You know what I mean? No, I didn't present myself anymore as a good mother. You know what I mean? But you couldn't tell me I didn't love my children. And I heard that 1,000 times. I was looked at like that 1,000 times. You know what I mean? But they just didn't understand me. They didn't understand my sickness. You know what I mean? I love my kids unconditionally. When I thought about my kids when I had sober time, that shit made me feel so bad I had to get high. You understand what I'm saying? Because the pain was crucial. You follow? My guilt was terrible.
Eating you alive.
Oh my God, it was eating me inside out. I was just empty.
And that's why it starts from inside out.
Absolutely.
The work starts from the inside out. And disease doesn't skip anybody. And that's why addiction is a disease, and it needs to be seen as such. You know? And
Absolutely.
people say that, you know, like, this is not a choice. This is not something, it's something that people suffer from because it is a disease.
And this shit came from fun. This shit came from fun and bad choices. You follow? I was that girl, man. Getting high was the shit. You follow what I'm saying? You know, I remember when I used to snort coke before I started smoking coke. Check this one out. Y'all remember Scarface? This is how crazy this shit is. Y'all remember Scarface and your girl, his wife, had the long silver nails. Man, I had the silver nails on my finger. Swearing I was that shit with the dealers. You know, some of the dealers I used to get high with, you know, scooping up cocaine with the nail. How crazy is that? You know what I mean? But that was another time. It's not funny, but it's funny. I'm glad I can look back on this shit and laugh at it. That's when I had not yet lost my mind yet. You know what I mean? My matrix was just getting started. You know what I mean? I thought I was the coolest. I thought I was the sharpest. You know what I mean? I'm in the dealer's house. They treat me like a queen. But soon I got addicted. I was treated like a dog. I was treated like dirt. I didn't even exist no more. Not that sharp Tracy Allen. That cute girl. She didn't exist no more. Because when they got used to me getting high, then they kept feeding me and feeding me and feeding me. You know what I mean? Until I came over every day, all day, coming to get it, doing what you want me to do for you for it. You know, but I'm being treated like a queen, watching them do it to other women. So that made me feel like I was the shit. Is that sick?
And you're not the only one, though.
Is that sick?
You're not the only one. And you sharing your story, that's how powerful it is, though.
Look, I feel that shit. I feel it right now. Like I just want to go punch him in the face. You know what I'm saying? You know, but guess what? He was sick too.
Yeah.
He was sick too for who he was and what he became. And he was a dealer. And this is what I'm talking about out there in society. You know what I mean? This is what society expected of us. I was in that phase of my addiction. You know what I mean? Still a sharp girl, still a cool girl, still got it going on. You know what I mean? Saying I never let myself get like that. And he got these girls in here doing all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? In another room. But I'm special. But all he was doing was brewing me and making me and boiling me and cooking me to be right in there with him. And guess what? He did that. He was successful with it. You follow what I'm saying? Because the more that I took that cocaine, snorting it, like it was the best thing in the world. I don't smoke cocaine. I snort cocaine. I didn't know it was no different. I had no idea. It was just a phase of where I was in my addiction. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. And at that particular time, yoga wouldn't have helped me because I would have cussed you out talking about some damn yoga. You better get that yoga shit on out of here, you know. Distraction or what? I ain't doing shit. I'm going to go do what I do. Girl, please. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I can kind of understand why they have it in the rehab. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it is something that is a tool.
And that's where a lot of people think too, like it's a cure, like that life has some sort of hack, right? And that's why the only way out, y'all, is through.
Oh, go ahead.
And so a lot of
people
don't understand. You know
I got to steal that.
You steal it all.
Yeah, I got to steal that.
Because it ain't, because honey, I ain't
that was nice.
Y'all
hear that?
Nothing I say is mine.
And she said, you talking about when what I'm saying in the beginning of my addiction, you know, I went into the tunnel having fun. You know what I mean? And you can see the hole from the beginning of this tunnel to the hole to get out the tunnel. But I didn't know it was a storm in the middle. You follow what I'm saying? So I had to go, girl, I like that. You see what I'm saying? Everything connects. Everything connects. Everything connects. You know? That's what I'm saying. We're going to try to bring this to you in any way you possibly can. Yeah, that storm I talk about, you're saying the same thing. And I had to get through. Y'all hear me, right? I had to get through the storm. I saw the exit. I saw the hole clear as day when I went in. You know, my intention was to go through and get out. You feel me?
Yeah.
I had to go through and get out, but the storm got me. I went from the snorting, the pretty girl, the cool girl with the silver nail. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the shit. Like Tony Montana's wife. That's where I got that shit from. You know, seriously. Movies. This shit is all around us. You know, it's in movies, it's in songs, it's in walking out on the street. Addiction of diseases everywhere.
And so that's really important too. We talk about these kids and how impressionable they are. And I have one now for the first time ever.
Yeah, cute.
So I, for the first time now, I'm seeing like firsthand how whatever he says is literally only coming from my mouth or Miss Rachel. So I'm like, well, dang. I'm like, So I gotta start clearing up. I gotta start getting clear with what I'm saying. I gotta start getting more intentional about my words, about the things that I listen to. You know,
words are, for us, words are vicious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For an addict, words are vicious. So you can simply be trying to say to me, you're gonna hurt yourself, you're gonna kill yourself, but my sickness, the disease, the disconnect of emotions and thinking will be like, well, who the fuck are you to tell me I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that? You don't know nothing about me. You can't tell me where I'm at. You know what I do? We put up that defense shield.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because that's always ready for action. You know what I'm saying? Like an action warrior. We ready for fight.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know how to process, and we don't know how to listen.
Ooh, the active
we can't
listening.
listen.
The active listening. So during my yoga teacher training, right now I'm creating a yoga school. It's an online virtual yoga school where you basically, where I did a yoga teacher training. You don't have to become a teacher, right? You do yoga teacher training to develop your self practice, develop your personal knowledge. However, when you go and you get this yoga teacher training, we do things like a noble silence. Right, and so a vow of noble silence is a container, right? Because we're in a teacher training.
Hey, Linda.
Where we basically take a vow to be silent, right? So you can take the vow for however long you want to take it for. Say you want to do it for 2 hours. Say you want to do it for 24 hours. I did it for 48 hours, 2 days. So for 2 days, I'm silent. That means that, yes, a few times I had to write a note, you know what I'm saying? A few times I had to like just text a few things out. But for the most part, I was quiet. And it gave me the opportunity for 48 hours to listen.
Hey, Candace. Y'all, I'm trying to go through it. You know I'm going to be getting my shout outs. No matter what. But guess what? Hey, Beth. You know, but guess what? I like to do this. I like to bring, hey, Edward. I'm glad you watched and check this out, bruh. You know, Edward just did his first speech. I want everybody to know, give Edward a shout out. He just did his first sharing, at the rehab, and he did a great job. So congrats go out to you, Edward. You know what I mean? And keep on giving back. This thing works. We need the help. You know what I'm saying? Soldier for it, bro. Soldier for it. That's what I'm talking about. You get the applause. You know what I mean? Keep soldiering for it because it helped us. You know what I mean? The same thing helped us. You know what I mean? So we give it back. The best way that we know how. You follow? Hey, Gary. It says, say it then, you all by yourself with your goat. What's that say?
Ghost of guilt
and suffering. Get behind the Satan today. I'm walking with change. Thanks. The program of faith.
Yes, honey.
Congratulations. Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Shell, awesome work. That's right. Shout Edward out because he did a great job. Awesome job, bruh. I tell you, it takes a lot to get in front of people and share. You know what I mean? And share your strengths and hopes. You know what I'm saying? But it becomes normal because you start loving you more. It helps you to love yourself. It helps you to keep your honesty on top.
That's what yoga is. It's a practice of loving
this
yourself.
one.
You just love yourself. It's a practice of self-love.
That's right. Please give Edward a shout out. I'm so proud of him. Yes. You know what I mean? Me and Edward has a very close relationship, through counselor and glad I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. You know what I mean? I tell you, your time is when your time is. You know what I mean? But it's up to you to keep this going daily, day by day, one day at a time. And you've gotten that. And I'm so proud of you for that. So I had to give you that shout out, bro. Had to give you that shout out. And you know what I'm saying? You know about them yoga classes in Keystone. You know what I mean? But y'all, hey Sharon, how you doing, sis? But back to, talking about that tunnel. You know what I mean? That hole, that opening, and then going what? Where we going? Through. Then again, we're going through. You know what I mean? Same thing. We have to do and learn to learn how to do. You know what I mean? And when you get stuck in the storm, ugh. When you get stuck in that storm, let me tell you something. You can't get out.
And you need a
You
practice.
stop.
You
have to get that help.
And the practice is, that's when you show up for yourself.
That's
you
right.
Showing up for yourself.
That's
in
right.
the practice. When you show up for yourself, and you show up for yourself, you show up for community. And that's what Black Power Yogi is. When you show up for yourself.
That's what Michelle said too. Saying it, self-love. Absolutely. Absolutely, Shelly.
Self-love.
Denise said, yup, it does it. It does it. I mean, yup, it does. It's hard, but uncomfortable. And uncomfortability brings about change.
So when y'all asking about yoga, y'all like, I don't want to do yoga because it's uncomfortable. That's what it's there for. So when you come and I put you in that awkward pretzel position and you're uncomfortable, right? I'm asking you to find peace there.
In the connection of the addict, it's not easy.
Yes.
It's hard for us to find peace.
And nowhere.
We look for peace. You know, it's up here in the pieces we trying to find.
So we're going to go back to the only way out is through. So when I come and I put you in that pretzel, you have three options. You can walk out of the yoga room, which I've done.
As I did.
No, thank you. I won't be doing that.
Right?
You can literally just leave. You can exit stage right, or you can stay. You know what I'm saying? You can stay and suffer. You can be like, oh, I'm going to try to put this leg over my head. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to force it in there. I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to push. Or you can lean in, right? You can say, you know what? Today,
I'm just going to do it.
Today,
I'm just going to
do what I can do.
I'm just going to do it.
Today, maybe I can't lift my leg all the way up here. Maybe today I can bring it to here. And here is good enough.
That's right.
And when you said little by little, bit by bit, if this is your first yoga class, we don't want to put our leg above our head. But maybe somebody else in the class is going to put their leg above their head. That's good for them. But that's where they are at.
That's where they're at, right? That's where they're at, on their path.
Yes.
So, in other words, yoga is kind of sort of just like us. However it works for you, it may not work for the next person.
It's not, because our bodies don't even look the same.
Exactly.
So our literal limbs can't even move the same.
Well, mine ain't going that far. I'm going to let you know now.
Right,
Even if I went and put my head in.
She's already resisting me. She's already resisting me.
Rabia said motivation. Wait a minute. Rabia is saying first step is motivation to show up. And that's absolutely right, Miss Ahmed. That is absolutely right. You know, in recovery, we also have to just surrender. You know what I mean? We just have to take ourselves to a rehab. We just have to go to detox. You know what I mean? We have to put in our head first before we even make the movement of doing it. You know what I mean? That's our problem. Our problem more is where we are not motivated enough or being allowed to feel those emotions to make that decision. You know, that right choice and that decision. You know what I'm saying?
And emotions, you can't even get space to feel an emotion, and that's the number one problem in society. Number one,
right?
There is no space for emotion. So when people come to my yoga classes, the reason why they like it so much is because you're given space, like you said.
Right.
You're giving people space to feel whatever emotions come up. When I throw you in a hip opener, people cry. Why do people cry? Because your hips actually store emotions. So when you come into yoga and I put you in that posture for 30 seconds, which you've never done in your life, and the emotions start flowing, you know what I'm saying? But I put you in a space where you're allowed to release that emotion. When you live a life, which we all have, where emotions are constantly shoved down, stuffed down, we call that repressed, right? If you're not expressing your emotions, you're repressing your emotions, right? So if you're not able to express and let them out anywhere, you don't have a safe space. Yoga is a safe community. Yoga is a community of people. It is a safe space for you to show up and release those emotions in a space where there's no judgment, in a space where you can, that's where the healing of the whole happens, right?
Michelle said it makes sense. We can actually be inspired by uncomfortability by taking it one step at a time and acquiring a space of acceptance to improve.
Yes, because you don't show up already knowing what to do. And you have to give yourself space and you have to give yourself grace in that knowing and to show up not perfect. I was just explaining that's another part of yoga is releasing perfectionism. Right? When I show up in the middle of class, right, I have to not be perfect because when I show people that I'm not perfect, they then feel inspired to not be perfect. When I mix up my left and right during class, it lets people know that I am not perfect. I do get it mixed up. But I'm still showing up, right? I'm still not hiding. I'm still not running away. I'm still not escaping.
You're facing your situations.
Exiting stage right. I'm going through because that's the only way. We can try to take the escape routes all we want. We can try to go around, but the only way out is through for everybody.
You know, I want to. I appreciate everything that the information that you're giving us, and I hope some of you are appreciating it too. With whatever type of experiences and help that anybody can bring to this program is well wanted. You know what I mean? Like I could tell you that anything that you possibly say, I can reflect it off of recovery, because this is just not about the addict either. It's about living a recovery lifestyle, and I think this is good for the recovery lifestyle. And I also think it's good for the still suffering, but we still suffering just can't get into it at this point. You know what I'm saying? We can't get into it at this point, but the recovery people.
And I think we have to accept that yoga is a tool that needs to be used at a certain stage in the game.
Right.
Because like you said, I can only hear from a certain level of understanding. Right. So like I have a lot of conversations. I do a lot of public speaking, a lot of workshops. And a lot of times people are entering the conversations at different times, especially being biracial. So white people and black people, in my experience, when I'm speaking about these experiences, having conversations with white people and having conversations with black people, you have to understand when we're coming together, we're all entering the conversation at different levels of understanding.
Different levels, yeah.
Right? So I can't just go straight talking off the bat like I can talk to you about certain things.
And that's what I meant.
Without including in.
Yeah, that's just what I meant. It's like in recovery, as I said, when we go in, when we surrender, you know what I mean, and we go in, we still have fear. We still have, that our guards up. You know what I mean? And we can't see or understand where, like, for the new one, where yoga going to help me.
Yes,
you know what I mean? I be done stole your yoga. Your yoga is cooking and ran and got up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I be done took action and it looked money worthy.
Period.
You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? But or setting you up like I'm gonna get her. You know what I mean? But just saying. You know what I mean? I like to keep laughter in when we talking about recovery, because it's not always a sad drawn story or pull a violin out. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to feel good, about what you're saying, and laughing and smiling, is an emotion, so it makes you feel good because you missed it so much. You know what I mean? In our addictive lifestyle, we missed the laughing and the smiling. And even when we was drunk or we was lit or we was smoking or we got high, we laughing and we smiling, but we don't feel shit but the comfort of the drug. You know what I mean? Any damn thing would be funny. You know what I'm saying? I could look at you and you look like a damn potato. You know what I'm saying? Or I could look at you and you look like King Kong coming at me. It doesn't matter, depending on the stress. Even when we laughing and smiling, we fucking hurting. Yeah. You know what I mean? we doing with something that we ain't even recognizing. You know what I'm saying? Whatever disease put in our head is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But when that shit wear off, we back to pain. We back to running. We back to feeding. We back to the Seymour. You know what I mean? Feed me, Seymour. Feed me now. You know what I'm saying? We back to stressing. We back to hurting. We back to robbing. We back to tricking. We back to stealing. We back to leaving the kids. We back to shit my mom. I don't care what she said. We back to that. You follow what I'm saying? And when we high, we laughing. We laughing. We laughing because we don't feel no pain. We laughing because we serving. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, we dying. You understand what I'm saying? We dying, losing our minds, setting ourselves up for the jails, setting ourselves up for the institutions. You know what I mean? Yeah, going back out, disrupting the community. You know what I mean? Taking and stealing from stores. It's okay. You know what I'm saying?
Being a detriment to ourselves and the world.
Yeah, so for the suffering, still suffering addict, you could have never said any of this to me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I wouldn't have paid you. I would have been like, girl, you better get the fuck out my face. You know what I mean? With that shit, I ain't trying to hear that shit. Hell, I ain't even surrendered yet that I'm an addict. Exactly. I had a problem with saying I was an addict. You know what I mean? But for a recovering addict,
and it's the right place.
Who can feel and hear? They know how to listen.
Too, like know your audience. But now something I learned recently.
Exactly.
Because you're right. I used to just when I first had yoga come into my life, I was lit. I said, y'all, everybody gotta know about yoga. I'm about to tell everybody gotta know. I'm like, everybody know need to know about
check
yoga.
this out. Check this out. When I first got clean, and I felt like I'm going to do this thing, I was trying to get everybody to do it. You got to go to rehab. You got to get the help. You got that for serene feeling. You got your purpose. You felt it.
And that experience that you mentioned about how people, like how you feel addicted to and you feel numbed, basically. It wasn't really the real life. Like you felt that real, we call it vitality. So in the second week of our 40-day program, we do a 6-week program. It's a similar outlines to NA, but you do the same thing. You seek the truth. You be willing to come apart.
Go ahead.
You literally just go through the process, literally to triumph.
It's all a process. Absolutely.
Yes, and the ending is triumph. It's freedom. It's being able to
Thank you,
acknowledge
Lynn.
that life. Even that numb lifestyle you live
Thank
now.
you.
Even if you're not an addict, just being able to acknowledge your numb lifestyle, your inability to tap into your inner child and have fun.
Go ahead.
Those are all opening your third eye to that awareness that your life is still very much just drifting along. And so when we call that in yoga disrupting the drift.
Right.
Disrupt the drift by seeking the truth of your life.
So yoga is really educational. Like it's so much education in it to learn who you are, get to know you better. You know what I mean?
We've been duped. It's not a stretch. It's a stretch of the mind.
Hey, Lauren.
Hey,
listen. This is Marie. We talking. She's a yoga instructor, and she also have raised up in her lifestyle with addictive parents. You know what I mean? But I have her on this live because what she's saying can still help somebody. It can help save somebody. It connects with us. And now, Lauren, I understand why we have it in the rehab. You know what I mean? And now I can look at that yoga being in the rehab as a good thing. You follow what I'm saying? Not just something that I feel like they just brushing these people off for. You know what I mean?
And
just to
also,
give them
and
some
that's the
kind
other
of
thing,
something.
too.
That's why I brought you on, because I didn't have the understanding of
And
it.
we have to invest in yoga instructors. We have to invest in black yoga instructors, which is what Black Power Yogi is all about. Black Power Yogi, so when I got my yoga teacher certification, there was not a black person in the room. I'm half of a black person, okay?
Right.
So imagine that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's not representative. I can't go into certain spaces where black women, darker than me, my sisters, can walk into and reach the community that needs to be reached. You know what I'm saying? But who is developing these black yoga teachers?
Yeah, they don't put it like, you know, we don't have, you can't go into the city, you know, and where we from, where it's poisoned and wrecked and been raped. You know what I mean? And all our kids have, you know, the school's been raped, the school's been taken, the playgrounds are not there anymore, roller skating is gone, movies, theaters are gone. All we have is a corrupt little city with drugs, guns, and alcohol and drugs. You follow what I'm saying? And 9 out of 10, most of the parents is on it. You know what I mean? So the kids replicate what we do, you know, and we think that is okay, you follow? And we get high with our kids, starting with weed, you follow what I'm saying? Which is a drug, you understand? Because that's my first drug, you know, and life now they damn legalized it. You follow what I'm saying? Hey, look, they make it hard for us. You know, they keep us down. You ain't gonna find no damn yoga class there. You know what I'm saying? You got to go in the suburbs somewhere and find a yoga class. You know what I mean? But I have more respect for yoga today for being placed in the rehab, because now I have a better understanding of how it can help us, you know, and how it can allow us to get in my mind with it right now, and what I'm feeling about it right now is for us in the rehab, it allows us to have peace. It allows us to sit down and get acquainted with the brain again, and get acquainted with the heart again, because a lot of them can come out crying, you know what I mean? And a lot of them come out who wasn't in there just to be in there. And then a lot of them can come out and have said to me, Miss T, I really like the yoga. Yeah. You know, Miss T, I think that's great that you got this here. And I didn't think it meant nothing. I really didn't.
The literal word yoga means unity. It means
yoga means unity. I didn't know that either.
Yoga means to unite, right? And to unite what? It means to unite your mind, your body, and your spirit.
Hey, Danny, yeah. This is all awesome information for me, y'all. And you know, whatever I talk about, I'm definitely going to entwine recovery in it. You know what I mean? And the still suffering and alcoholics and addicts today. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this is just not for you. This is for me too, because I'm learning. believe me, I'm learning. We got to talk more about it. You know what I mean? Because I'm
There's
feeling
so
like I'm a little
much to
interested in
learn.
it.
There's
You
so
know what I'm
much to
saying?
learn
And for
in
anybody
yoga.
who's in recovery, you know what I'm saying? Or even if you're not in recovery, you know, I hope you're getting something out of what yoga is the purpose of yoga and what it's for. You know what I mean? And information on how it can help you and get the understanding of it. Because I truly went in this without understanding it. You know what I mean? So that's why I brought you on, so you can share, because it's a part of the connection of what I do as a counselor, you know, in rehabs. And I know a lot goes on in rehabs, you know what I mean? And that yoga thing, for the ones that's not in the yoga, got a lot going on, you know, in the yoga. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that have really shared with me, some of my clients, about, you know, the yoga class, you know, is exactly what you're saying. You know what I mean? And also what I'm saying, it's helping them to heal. You know what I mean? It's giving them a better opportunity to feel self.
Because
you know what I mean?
And to think.
Right?
We already came to the conclusion that, you know, in short, that we are disconnected, right?
Right.
If in conclusion we are disconnected and healing means to connect again,
right?
That means that yoga is a tool to connect your mind
to your
body, to your spirit.
Oh, go ahead.
So when we're moving you in positions with your mind intact, being here and present, feeling your body moving, which is now connecting your mind and your body, because your mind is aware of your body's movements, right? I'm here with my body moving, not just moving my body when my mind is in the matrix, like you said.
Right, the matrix don't let us feel that.
Hello. And
you
so
know what I'm saying? I'm glad you put it that way. Got you.
That's why it's a practice.
The matrix don't let us feel that way.
No.
Hey, Lynette.
You practice that.
Chanel.
Yes. We practice connecting. We practice yoking. We practice yoga, uniting everything together.
That's beautiful. That information was very, very, very useful. You know what I mean? I'm quite sure a lot of us got something out of that. You know what I mean? Y'all, we're going to go into next week. We're going to talk about the children that lives, you know, and how it is for them, you know, to live with the still suffering. You know what I mean? And for the ones of us who are in recovery and still have no real connection or communication with our children, you know what I mean? I thought that when I got clean, you know, my kids would just be happy, you know, that our mom is back. You know what I mean? But, you know, I got a little, you know, a little cocky with it, you know, after like 10 years maybe, you know what I mean? 15 years maybe in recovery. And I'm saying, like, you know, you should be over that shit now. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to hear that shit no more. I can't make up for what I did, but I made up for what I did, you know, which is nonsense, you know, but you couldn't tell me that at the beginning. You know what I mean? Because this is a human being that I'm talking to. You understand? Can you relate to that? This is a human being that I'm talking to, and I shared, you know, my innermost, you know, pains and hurts and truths about, you know, my father. You know what I mean? And how he hurt me. You know what I'm saying? But then the disease, this is how cunning, baffling, and powerful disease is. Disease wouldn't let me open up to that, to see that my children heard it too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at them like being like 19 and 18, you know, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And they still carried that pain. They still carried that hurt. You know what I'm saying? And then I had more children, you know what I mean? And now they're getting the mom that they used to have. You follow what I'm saying? And they got the beat up and had to pretty much raise themselves for a few years, you know what I mean? And look crazy in front of their friends in school, the neighborhood, society, the whole 9 yards. And see, society grabbed my kids too, my sons too. You know what I mean? It was an open book. It was an open opportunity, you know, for them, because they wasn't getting the love that I wasn't getting. That I felt like I wasn't getting. They wasn't getting the attention, not the love, but the attention. But it turned into not getting the love too that they deserved and they should have gotten. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I'm gonna bring some people on who can share with us about that. You know what I mean? Because I'm quite sure there's a lot of us as parents and a lot of us as mothers, grandmothers, fathers, that some of them just still don't know how to trust us. You know what I'm saying? And this is also what this live is all about. It's still for the sick and suffering, but it's also for the suffering that has suffered from us. You know what I mean? Victimizing them.
Acknowledgement, though.
You know what I mean? I try. You know what?
A lot of people don't give, especially moms. You know, these days you're in a position where you give creating space, for your children to come to you and speak to you,
Oh, they can talk to me about anything.
And that's why it's really, and like you said, you can't force them to, but I've done a lot of healing work with my mother as well, and she's shared with me a lot about her upbringing and why, well, she didn't even have to say why, because I could see how and why her life was the way that it was.
That's what I say. It goes back to those generations, man. Yeah.
Her upbringing. But to be able to be mature enough, to be emotionally mature enough, I had to be emotionally mature enough to hear it, to receive it, and to be able to see my mom as more than just a mom, to see her as a person and see her in her humanity with me.
Beautiful.
Going through life as her first time going through life also, and
right.
not only
that was beautiful. That was beautiful. As her first time going through life, because she had found herself. She has made a choice, and she's made a decision that she will no longer allow this disease.
And that's the most. I am so proud of anybody.
Awesome.
Who makes a decision to continuously
so am I, girl. So am I.
To show up.
Absolutely. Show up. That's right.
Okay.
And through the struggle that it takes for us to show up. You know what I'm saying?
It's not easy.
Today, I'm going to say, I'm old school. You know what I mean? I was in rehab when recovery was hard. Recovery wasn't, no thing. It had plenty structure. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't do all this nonsense that you do in rehab today. No, hell no. You know what I mean? They will lift your ass up, get you by the shoulder, and kick your ass right out, and don't care what suffering you're doing. You know what I mean? They be like, enough is enough. You come in here to get right.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes.
So it was a lot of structure, and it was a hard process to get there. You know what I mean? But it taught me a lot, because I couldn't take the softy people. I couldn't take people like, you got that little soft voice. You would turn me the hell off. I'd be like, man, what
I just acquired this voice.
You know what I'm saying?
Like 4 years ago.
And then they'll get a person like me and be like what? We gonna do this now? I know this, but our language. My language would be so clear to them, to that. You know what I mean? Because we like that. We know we need structure. We don't want structure. We can't feel that structure is needed. You know what I mean? But we still gotta, try you and play you. You know what I mean? Because
if you don't get that mat in order,
we're gonna battle you down to the
down dog.
Exactly.
We started down dog.
Look, today a player can't play a player. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all, I'm a player hater. You follow what I'm saying when it comes to this? So Miss T don't play that shit. You know what I mean? But the beauty of it all is once you get them to listen. Once you get them to listen, once you get them to trust. So their listening is trusting. You know what I'm saying? Our listening is trusting. If you can get my attention, you good. If you can't get my attention, step off. Because I'm going to treat you like shit. You know what I mean? Because it's not that I want to, it's just that the disease in me won't allow me to like you. You know what I mean? So our battle in the tunnel that's the part of the storm.
And that's because I don't like myself. And that's
right. I don't even like me.
And that's a projection.
I don't even like me. I forgot who I was. So I don't give two shits about you.
And that's what yoga again teaches you to be aware of, is that everybody is a walking projector. So whatever you're projecting onto other people is something that is within you unresolved, unhealed.
Ain't I?
So whatever somebody is projecting outward is an insecurity, is something within that has yet to be given proper attention, has yet to be healed within self. So this is something I teach my little nephews now. You know what I'm saying? If you like yourself, you don't have to treat people that way. If you love yourself, you don't have to, you won't disrespect. If you respect yourself, but a lot of times we don't respect ourselves. We don't love ourselves. We don't want to admit that. But the way that we treat ourselves, the way that we speak to ourselves, the way that we do our bodies, the way that we treat other people and speak to other people is just a reflection of how we feel about ourselves.
And Linda said, I certainly did never know anything about yoga. Always thought it was for certain people, but it definitely sounds interesting.
Yes, my
you're teaching people some things. You know what I'm saying?
I had to learn too. I thought it was for a certain type of person as well, but we've been duped, and that's what we have to realize. Is not only have we been duped in this way, we have been duped and are continue to being duped in plenty of other ways, which is why we need to awaken, right? Which is why we need to seek the truth. We can be duped in many ways. But when you have a practice that keeps you sturdy in your knowing of who you are, when you have a practice that keeps you sturdy in the knowing of who you are.
Y'all know I go over every week a couple minutes. Michelle, I did want to say this. Michelle said when we live ourselves, we definitely don't have to degrade ourselves. Absolutely, sis. Absolutely. You know what I mean? People who don't understand us and don't know us, but they know what we became and they see what we was. You know what I mean? When we get to know who we are and love ourselves, they can't understand what they see. You know what?
Because they don't know.
They don't understand what they see. This is why we doing this live, Shell. You know what I mean? So people can get to know all about sickness. So they can get to know all about what transforms us. You know what I mean? And the struggle it takes for us to reprogram ourselves and transform into who we are. You know what I mean? And we love it. You know, we love who we are. You know, I love what I become. You understand what I'm saying?
You now empower other women to
exactly.
Be
it's for me to share it with other people. And as they share on this live with me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? This girl says some powerful stuff.
Yes,
Michelle says some powerful stuff,
yes,
man. I can relate to every word comes out her mouth. You understand what I'm saying? Because that struggle is no different than my struggle.
Yes.
And that learning, that excitement, that love for self, Michelle, keep on. Love you, honey. Love you, because love is so beautiful. Love is so light. It's not heavy. You know what I mean? It has no weight to it. It just has a standstill, like Optimus Damn Prime. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. You know what I mean? This is what this shit is. You know what I'm saying? Be proud of you. I'm loving it. Be proud of you, because the love that I have for me, I was taught to how to love myself. I was taught to be introduced to Tracy. So not the Tracy before me now, but the Tracy who I am. So and I love her. Absolutely.
So basically what she's saying is
possible.
It's like you don't have to love yourself now. Maybe you didn't always love yourself, but now we're walking, breathing examples of
love. That's right.
Love,
right. And it's a feeling that just get me high as hell, because I'm high as hell right now. You follow what I'm saying, man? I don't always want this high, boy, because I tell you, the one that I had, that cocaine, let me tell y'all, that thing didn't do nothing for me. It didn't do not one thing. I couldn't feel this joy. I couldn't feel this love. I couldn't feel you. Yes. You know what I mean? I couldn't feel you. You know what I mean? Now I look forward to you. You follow what I'm saying? I love this high. And every time I share, and every time I get into that book, you know what I mean? I get higher and higher and higher. But it's for a good purpose. It's for sharing and it's for soldiering. You know what I mean? And with that higher power that comes before my love for me, you know what I mean? I give him I give my higher power the love first. You know what I mean? Because he gave me the opportunity to learn how to love again. And I know I'm over, and I'm getting ready to shut this down. But you know, at the end, I always get that damn bob, man. I got to stand up a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it. You know what I mean? It's like shouting for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so happy that everybody came on. Shell, you hear me? You know what I mean? I love her. I'm telling you, I love her. This girl got so much power in her words. You know what I mean? You speak the language, baby, and you speak that language great. You know what I mean? We need you on here. We do. You speak that language, honey, and you understand it, and you know it very well. Don't let disease tell you not ready. No. Girl, you on fire. You hear what I'm saying? You are on fire. You know? Just keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing, my sister. Keep on doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because, look, you making me, like, I got chills in my damn arms. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead serious. I got chills in my damn arms. Because I just love reading what she says, man. It's so important. It's so important.
This community that you're creating is really powerful as well. We need more people to be standing up and stepping in their power and creating community everywhere. There's never enough community. Don't look at somebody else's community and be like, oh, well, there's already community over there, so I'm not going to bother. No, create community where you are. Create community where you are. Share your stories. Share who you are. Be vulnerable. Practice vulnerability, right? Because vulnerability doesn't just happen one time and that's it. Practice being vulnerable. Practice showing up. Recognizing when your heart is closed off. Recognizing your barriers and blockages to that openness, that oneness with self.
That's right.
Just notice. There's nothing to do, fix, or change. If the first step is just to look, to just notice. Just to just look with your looking.
And y'all, let me say this. I got them hearts on. You know, I love that heart. You know what I'm saying? My heart is saying it loves you. You know what I mean? As I love myself and I love God. You know, I know I don't win over. You know, I'm going too far with it now. I'm going way over.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Y'all still there and you were still listening, and I appreciate that. Every week I had to come down a little bit, a little something, because I'm telling you, I really want to go on. Boy, I tell you, you know what I mean? It's like having somebody on the couch with me always make me able to, you know, feel this blessing even more. You know what I mean? When I have somebody here sharing some more blessings. You know, to our people, our sick and suffering, our recovering addicts, you know what I mean? Our families that are watching, you know what I mean? Another thing I want to say, you know, it was my birthday, and thank y'all for all the birthday shout outs. I really appreciate that. You know what I mean? This is 64 years, you know, and I have this opportunity to be a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, a godmother, a aunt, a friend. You know what I mean? This is beautiful, y'all. These are all rewards. You know what I mean? And I hope I can continue to live on and move on and come back on this live next week. Again, God grants me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Until next week, y'all, thank you for the hearts. I love the hearts. Thank everybody. Michelle, love you. I love everybody who's on. You know what I mean? Girl, you powerful. I'm telling you, still inside my system right now. Believe me, you're still inside my system. You know, thank everybody for being on here. Lynn, thanks for showing up for me, because you show up for me every week, Linda. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? Everybody, you know, that's on this
Shout
live.
out, Mama.
I will see you guys next Wednesday. I got another surprise guest for you. You follow what I'm saying? And yeah, look, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Again, y'all think about it. I want y'all here on the couch. You follow what I'm saying? Let's share what we know. Let's share it. Let's help each other. You know what I'm saying? So until next Wednesday, y'all, thank you so much. I'll see you next Wednesday.